Hey there, StarCraft fans. It's Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Today it's going to be a match between JangBi and Killer here on Fighting Spirit. This was played in 2013, got it off of bwreplays.com and at the request of a commenter like you. Top left-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player. It is JangBi, who is one of the 6 dragons of Protoss in Brood War, one of the 6 greatest Protoss players of all time. I can understand why he was requested. And in the bottom left-hand corner, the blue Zerg player, it is Killer. I know it says Zerg, but this is Killer. Definitely, according to BW Replays, it is verified and everything. Now, check out these statistics from JangBi. In the 6 Dragons era, his matchup versus Terran, 80% win ratio. Matchup versus Terran, 69% win ratio. And versus Zerg, a 58% ratio. The weakest of the 3, but still very, very impressive. Very impressive indeed. He's been playing since 2006. In the post-Kespa era, he advanced out of his group in the 9th Sonic TV Star League in a round of 32, beat Kola. And Lazy did lose 1-2 to Larva. Unfortunately, getting knocked out there, but he's been around for a while. Again, very terrifying Protoss player here. And then Killer has kind of risen to prominence in the post-Kespa Amateur League times. He has enjoyed a near 75% win rate in both ZVP and ZVZ in the post-Kespa scene, among the highest of all Zerg players, and has won 2 consecutive SSLs. So these players are no joke, man. Both JangBi and Killer are both abjectly terrifying if you have to face them in StarCraft, which neither you or I will ever do. Although maybe, I don't know, Jayon could be watching this, I guess. He might someday. Jayon matched up against Flash on stream last week. So he's up there. He's at the level where that might actually happen. It's just Forge Fast Expand here out of the Protoss player. Got a drone coming up. Scouting drone, or is he going to go for a weird proxy hatch type thing? He doesn't have the minerals for that, obviously. He threw up the hatch at home instead, and then now is going for the spawning pool. So a hatch pool play, no early aggression from him. Still no gas either, which tells me he's not going for very quick metabolic boost. And I love the drone scout. I feel like drone scouting, probe scouting, SCV scouting is kind of a huge deal. Oh, he almost blocked that off. He almost straight up blocked off that Nexus, which would have been a huge deal for him. But no, couldn't quite pull it off there. But that's fine. I mean, it's not game ending by any stretch of the imagination. And trying to figure out how to pronounce JangBi's name, I went back and looked at some videos from day 9. And he has an amazing video, just kind of examining the PvP matchup featuring JangBi. And that's where I got the pronunciation from. But I noticed, he posted this in December of 2017. It has only 17,000 views, which, like, I'm one of those people who's like, hey, Day 9, come back to StarCraft. We miss you. Your passion for StarCraft is unmatched by, I think, anybody else, honestly, and just your sheer happy attitude and your inclusive attitude towards everybody in the world, that they should all love StarCraft 2. We miss it, but then you look at a casual Hearthstone video of his and it has 8 times as many views. And it's just like the attention is not there for StarCraft for him. And it's hard for me to be like, well, keep doing this stuff that's not bringing you the success that you used to have. I love Day 9. I just want him to be happy. I guess that's all I have to say about that. Quick third hatch. Yep, basically that late gas told me there was a third hatch coming up here across the map here on Fighting Spirit. So nobody's going to be aggressive at this stage here. Nice cannon wall off here. Got the forge, got the gateway. If Zerglings show up here, which they're not going to, you have to pull some probes. Well, I mean, a couple Zerglings show up here, not too much of a problem. But like 5 or 6 Zerglings, they could run by. You have to pull some probes up to block that off and allow the cannon to kill them while you're waiting for your zealot to come in. But that's not a problem here today. Probe's doing a great job scouting, recognizing there aren't going to be speedlings for a while. I can run pretty much any ling that comes out here. There's a zealot, and not playing defensively is this zealot. No, sir. He is marching down across the map. He's trying to get something done. The Zergling will scout him and say, oh, the zealot's coming down. I guess it could make a couple more Zerglings, and there are already 5 more on the way for a Killer, so no big deal from him. And he's going for a pretty quick lair. Does he have a second extractor yet? Nah, so we're not going to see quick Mutalisk either at this stage. We're really just gearing up for a pretty strong macro game, which I'm down with. I am down hardcore with a macro style game. Stargate on the way, probably going to get that Corsair production beginning here. And here are the Lings. Whole bunch of Lings out, but there's already the Zealot. We're going to have another Zealot on the way, and the cannon should be enough to hold this, although holy smokes. Suddenly, there's a lot of Zerglings out. That count increased quite a bit. This might be a bit of a problem. You might even want to throw up a defensive, like an emergency pylon here to block this off, because here they come, and yep, they're getting right on in. The probes are getting pulled to try to deal with this. The cannon goes down so fast. There are 2 zealots out, though, and a bunch of probes. Probes are just here to mess up the pathing of the lings. They have speed holding that wall there. Some do get inside the main base, but there's only 2 of those. They're going to kill a couple probes and get a nice scout off as well. By that I mean maybe not going to scout that. Hey, you guys get out of there. You get out of there. And, okay, so he gets the full scout off there. So he's coming on in. Oh, this Artosis pylon is powering a lot of important stuff. That cybernetics core and the Citadel of Adun and the Stargate would go down. Zealots here to defend at the same time. And do I need to bump up the sound effects volume? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. It might be a little bit too loud, but I'd rather have a little bit too loud than too soft. It adds to the cast a lot if you can hear what's going on over the sound of my voice, I've decided. All right, so pretty well held here by JangBi. Lost a few probes, but definitely not enough to be game-ending at this stage. A beautiful scout from Killer. Not that he's super surprised by this, but he does see the Citadel of Adun upgrading. He is going for Zealot legs and a bunch of Corsairs, and you can see the Zealot count starting to increase here as well. So we are ready for pretty much whatever is coming out. There is a Spire, but it's just for Scourge. We're not seeing Mutalisk production, because you don't really need them. A macro hatch here at the natural base. Somebody in the comments got mad at me for calling this a macro hatch. It said there's no such thing as macro hatches. I've never actually heard that opinion before. So if you guys want to let me know in the comments, maybe is this a macro hatch at Brood War, or is that just a StarCraft 2 phrase? Because I don't know why it would. I don't know why it wouldn't be a macro hatch. So here come the Zealots. They don't have speed yet, but it's almost done. Run. Sunken Colony needs to finish right now. Drones in here to mess up the pathing, letting the Sunken finish, fighting for their lives and trying not to die here, but they're exploding quite nicely. Good target firing on some of these drones by these Zealots, killing all of the Zerglings too. Does not want to engage with this Sunken Colony at all, and in fact is going to hustle on out of there while the Sunken continues to stab them from below, which I've mentioned before cannot feel very good. Just you're walking along, and all of a sudden, from underneath the ground comes this big tentacle and just goes bam and hits you. You don't want to get punched from under the ground. It's not a good place, not a good angle at all. Third base, traditional setup here. Got a hatchery, got a couple creep colonies, sunken colonies. Throw a spore crawler in here too, and call it good. But a decent contain being set up. Lings can't really move out without these Zealots knowing. And can they handle? Nah, they don't have an attack upgrade yet, so they can't handle this number of Zerglings, especially not if a couple more show up here. But it doesn't look like Killer's all that interested. So it is 3 base to 2 base. Another gateway coming in for the Protoss player. He's working on that Corsair count. He does have a Templar Archives, and he's getting Dark Templar. So we're going to try to go TDT. He recognized the lack of Spore Crawlers here, so if the Corsairs can dive bomb in and kill the Overlords, then the DTs should be able to have a field day. However, the Scourge are going to make sure that doesn't happen. That is the game of chess. That is StarCraft Brood War, and the Remastered as well. They haven't changed any of the underpinnings of StarCraft when they made this remastered version, which I think was very intentional because they understood that a lot of the StarCraft fans would be super upset if in fact they did change a lot of the mechanics or any of the underlying gameplay for StarCraft Brood War. It's just they knew, and they were right. Hurrah! I don't know if any of you saw me post my gameplay video of the StarCraft Remastered campaign on YouTube on Wednesday, and I think earlier today as well I posted another one here, but check me out on twitch.tv/FalconPaladin. Scourge hit! Oh, wait! That's more Corsair than I thought were there. 4 of them were there. Another Overlord is going to go down. And is there detection here? There is 1 Overlord, and that... Oh, that's a Sunken. Gonna try... Yep, sacrificing themselves to pick off that Overlord so the DTs can get in and do something. Where are they? Here he is. Here's our DT. Here's our little Zeratul. He already has 7 kills, which is awesome. Another Overlord popped out and Zeratul gets picked off. Not nice. Not nice at all. Scourge versus Corsair battle. A tale as old as time. True as it can be. Scourge and the Corsair. Photon Cannon coming up just to deal with the Scourge. If the Scourge chase the Corsair too far, they will be dealt with that ground static defense, as we can see here. And the Mutas too, actually. All right, so big old Mutaflock. Oh, having a hard time with these Mutas. There are a whole bunch of them. There are 10, which is not exactly great. The Corsairs versus the Mutas, though, especially with the stack up, is really bad for the Mutalisks. Got some Zealots marching it down. If the Mutalisks are away, they say the Zealots are here to play. They still don't have any attack upgrades, but it's almost done. I think He would have preferred to have waited for it to finish, but this is going to go pretty well for him anyway. Trying to take down the sunken colonies. One of them does end up dead. It does force the Mutalisks home, which is exactly what JangBi was going for. Was forcing the Mutas home to deal with the Zealots. The Zealots are going to do pretty well for themselves, though. It takes a while for Mutalisks to kill them. You're going to get a couple more drone kills, or maybe not. Maybe absolutely no more drone kills. Counterattack time from Killer. Sneaking up from the south, trying to get up here, but there's Zealots. There's more cannons on the way. That Mutalisk does have 0 kills and is getting chased away. Another Zealot dead. And the Zerg Swarm pretty much heading on home. Still 3 base, though. 4th base could be popping up here at some point for Killer. And still no 3rd from JangBi, which sounds difficult. Sounds difficult to do this against a Zerg player on 3 bases and possibly could just go to 4. But he is spending his money pretty efficiently, working on Flyer Attack, which I don't think we've seen a lot of in ZVP. Anyway, the Flyer Attack, usually it's armor. Air Carapace here, but Killer seems to be more interested in going for a lot of air and a lot of Mutalisk. There are 11 Mutalisks in that group coming right on into the main base and going right after these probes. There are 2 cannons, but that is not enough. That's not enough to deal with this. There's an Archon, and ooh, the Scourge getting some hits on those Corsairs. Where are they going, though? Bad micro there by Killer. I understand it's hard to do, but what was that? Those Scourge flew right around in the general area of the Corsair, but did not actually kill them. That was crazy. I don't know what happened there. So Mutalisks kill a couple cannons. They maybe kill a couple probes, but not all that much. 91 to 81 total supply. JangBi is looking a-okay. Mutalisk count still 10. I don't think he lost any. Maybe the 1 during that attack. It could have been a lot worse for him with the Corsairs and the Archons on the ground. Archon's a pretty good answer to those Mutalisks for sure. Zealots marching in with +1 attack versus the Zerglings, who have, I don't believe they have any upgrades at all right now. Yeah, that's a 0-0. That's going to be a bad fight for them for sure. That was an absolute massacre. 100% massacre here. Some Overlords that do not have Overlord speed. They are slow Overlords. They're all dead. Scourge trying to get a hit off, but nope. Corsair a little bit too zippy. Zealots marching into the natural base again. And that +1's kind of amazing, but 4 sunken colonies and Mutalisks. Yeah, get out of there. Get out of there, indeed. The Archons, if they'll attack, if they can attack in the open here, get that splash damage up. Look at all of these Mutas that are in the purple right now. That means they have low HP, around 50% or less. It's a horrible, horrible situation. More Corsair. We're working on... Do we have Storm? I think he's just going for Archons. I do not believe that JangBi is going for Storm at all at this stage in the game anyway. Possibly going for a 3rd base at the 12-minute mark, which seems a little bit late for this matchup, but he's been defending a lot. He's been aggressive a lot here, too. He did not just go straight macro all the live long day. Mutas with +1 attack do okay against Zealots, as it turns out. Especially if the Zealots don't have any armor upgrades, which they don't. We just went for the attack upgrade. Do not take the splash from the Archons or from the Corsair. Scourge seeing this 3rd base, and I think the Mutas might try to shut this thing down. I think they can get it. I think they can... Oh, that's not even an... Oh, that is an Nexus right there. Yeah, that's a lot of damage coming in really hard right now. And that is the forced cancel. Killer making it happen. Scourge coming up to support in case the Corsair show up. It's a beautiful little symmetry you've got here with the Mutalisks and the Scourge to make sure the Corsair are not as effective as they would otherwise like to be against these Mutalisks. 3rd base, making a beeline for there is JangBi. But again, we just have a nice wall. A lot of sunken colonies here, 5 of them, and some Zerglings. Yeah, that's just not a good place to be for JangBi. I really don't like how this game is going for him at all. Killer is looking incredible at this stage. I mean, that's 75% win rate of both ZVP and ZVZ since Kespa broke up is kind of insane. 75%. Working out for him. I think they might be able to kill this Archon, but instead they're just trying to thin out the Zealot count, which is kind of out of control right now. Yeah, man, these Zealots not having a good time at all. Meanwhile, Scourge flying around, getting picked out of the sky by the Archons. Good hit. Good hit there by the Archon. He has 3 kills, but he hasn't really killed huge groups of Mutalisks. And there, in fact, is your 4th base coming up right now for the Zerg player. Killer. 3rd base going to be attempted again here by JangBi. And so far, I think map control definitely belongs to Killer. He has so much static defense. I like it. I really do. Where your opponent is investing this heavily in Zealots and Dragoons and Archons, Sunkens are not a bad idea. They're really not a bad idea at all. Here comes JangBi. He's at the very least trying to distract. Right, trying to distract the Mutalisks. Make sure they don't fly out to kill that third base. Oh my goodness, the Queens. Look at the ensnare, reducing attack speed, reducing move speed. Scourge trying to get some hits up on those Corsair. Couldn't do it. Could not do it at all. Zealots coming in, but the wall of Sunkens just seems to go forever right now. Mute is trying to pick off individual Dragoons, doing pretty well with it, too. Ensnare lasts forever. It is a really, really long spell. Playing the Remastered campaign has reminded me of that fact. Still pushing in with the Dragoons. They've got +2 attack now, working on +3 attack at the 15-minute mark. Corsair, I mean, the Mutalisks can't do much about this. What's in production? Some more Scourge. He needs the Scourge to get hit on this Corsair. That is, 8 Corsair doesn't seem like a whole ton, but with +1 attack, that adds up, man. This is a pretty effective siege out of JangBi right now. It's allowing his third base to get up back home. It's allowing him to produce without worrying about the Zerg player coming in and wrecking him. Here come the Scourge, and they're just flying over the Dragoons! Okay, brought down this Corsair count to 6. And now the Mutas have to engage. Scourge from the backside, though. Whoa, where did those come from? Pretty good target firing there. 4 Corsair remaining, slowly whittling them down. Archon gets picked off. Corsair trying to dive in. Yeah. And pick off these Mutalisks. Only 2 Corsair remaining, and I think the Mutas can engage right now. And they do. But a lot of them are dying to the Dragoons. They've already been weakened by the Corsair with that splash damage. And the Dragoons are going to pull back, but so are the Mutalisks. That was a brutal fight. That's a lot of dead Sunken colonies, a lot of dead Mutalisks, a lot of dead Dragoons, and Corsair and Zealots, and both players are pulling back to lick their wounds right now. What might be really good right now, perhaps, is a transition into Storm for the Protoss player. Splash damage always good against the Zerg, although you do have to worry about spawn broodling from these Queens. The Queens are out. Their energy is ticking back on up here. Spawn broodling's really good. We got some Guardians out for the Zerg player. Look at those teeth on the Guardians. The remastered Guardians do look kind of neat. One of my favorite updates to the models for sure. Possibly checking to see if you think a 4th base is a JangBi, and in fact he's going to try traditional 4th base location on this map, if this is where you spawn on the top left for the Protoss player. Got some workers that need somewhere to mine, and none of the available mining patches are available for them. They're just not, there's not any room. No room at the inn for those probes, so an expansion would be really good. JangBi, he's trying to get that mineral count up to 400. There it is, and here's the 4th. There we go. There is the 4th. Another huge gateway army with +3 attack with Archons and Zealots. Corsair count not as healthy as it used to be. I believe this is the only one on the map. Still no Overlord speed, which I find odd. Being able to flee from this seems like a nice priority. Rebuilding his Sunkens, and he has a Guardian. Which, a few Guardians actually. These Zealots are in trouble right now. That Guardian needs to get out. Oh, Dragoon's target firing him down. Ooh, Corsair down. It took a lot of Scourge to do that. Still 3 Guardians remaining. Drone's actually helping to fight there too, defending their own homeland. And pulling back a little bit is our Protoss player. He did not expect Guardians. He's working on Storm. That is the answer to Guardians. Guardians are terrible at Storm dodging because they are so slow. Their acceleration is bad. Their top speed is bad. But they hit really hard. 22 damage per shot is huge in the Brood War. Ah, the 4th base. No, the Mutaflock found it and forced to cancel. Killer's playing this about as well as you can against one of the 6 Protoss dragons of StarCraft Brood War. Holy smokes, this guy. I honestly, in reading the bios of these players before the game, I felt like JangBi would have the upper hand. I mean, Killer post-Kespasine's been great, but JangBi was great during the Kespasine. So I don't know. It's really difficult to tell who's going to be better than who. There are some High Templar out. They do have Storm. They're working on energy. They have enough for a couple Storms as it stands. Almost. Well, one of them does. Anyway, and again, Guardians are going to be the primary target here for that Storm. And Mutas can dodge pretty well. Sunkens don't take any damage whatsoever. And Scourge can dodge here too. So here we go. Guardian attack. We have seen Guardians on the channel more than I ever thought we would. Oh, they're going home because there's a huge attack at the front door. Once again, JangBi's here at the natural base. He is building a summer home here. He's been here so frequently. The Scourge are here to deal with Corsair, but guess what? No Corsair to deal with. That's a wasted supply at this point for the Zerg player, which is real bad. He's getting all the upgrades, though. All across the top there. Missile attack, melee attack, carapace, adrenal glands for the Zerg player. Working on ground armor, finally, now that his attack is done. Storm, once again, fairly easily dodged. Although his Queen does get picked off from distance by these Dragoons. +2 Dragoons, no, +3 Dragoons are no joke. Ah, the Zerglings. No attack upgrades yet, but it doesn't matter. No 4th base for you, JangBi. I'm very sorry that this is the case, but you don't get a 4th base. Probes, well, is that scouting for a 5th maybe? But either way, the probe is dead. Look at this production tab. Consume on the way. Killer is just playing this about as well as you can against a terrifying Protoss player in JangBi. Great Storm. Storm pretty good against Lings if they're attacking something, if they're attacking into something, if they're defending, pretty good here too. Just Lings that are on the move, a lot better against Storm than Lings that are kind of stationary while fighting something. Picking off a Morphing on Archon in the middle of the map there, that was a good pick off for sure by Killer. 4th base, you got to make it happen, JangBi, and he's trying to make it happen for sure. Another hatch on the way. That is his 5th base for JangBi along this left side, expanding toward his Protoss opponent. There an Amulet on the way for JangBi, really trying to make High Templar a bigger part of his army right now. Killer working on pneumatized Carapace for faster Overlord movement. Got that other hatchery. Still has his Guardians. Still with his +1/+1 on those guys. Any additional upgrades on the way? Yeah, Flyer Carapace coming in. Which is quite nice. Picking off a High Templar. Oh, and here comes the Ling attack. They do have adrenal glands. They don't have all the upgrades, but they hit pretty hard. Nevertheless, this natural base is in a ton of trouble. There is tech here. Well, there's a forge here anyway. There are some gateways. There's an observatory. There is a robotics facility. The Guardians aren't even really engaged. They're just defending that 5th base is all they're doing. Meanwhile, another attack of Lings trying to take out that 4th base, but this is where a lot of JangBi's army is. So not going to happen for those Zerglings. They just ran into their deaths here. Muta, Ling trying to do stuff here inside the main base. Picking off that Stargate would be really nice. Mutas are engaging with the Corsair, which I'm not sure they want to do. Ah, they get the Stargate. The Mutas, or the Lings get the Stargate. Can they get the Templar Archives? I don't think they will. Archon with +3 attack, 39 damage per shot splash versus Lings. Not a good place to be. Guardians are going to sneak in behind that attack while the Mutas fly around and just basically make JangBi chase them from here to Tarnation. Finally, Overlords have speed, so they can kind of run, but Dragoons hit pretty hard and from pretty far of a distance, too. Assimilator going to get picked off. There's an attack in the middle here with some random Lings running into their devs. I mean, if there's one thing that Killer can do to lose this game, it's going to be just run units to their deaths here. Cancel. Yep, had to cancel the Guardian upgrade. The Guardian Morphon in there. Nice finds by those Corsair, actually. Mutas forced to flee for their lives at this point. Guardians just kind of hanging out at the natural base. JangBi's not really sent any units to deal with them. I think he's waiting for them to get onto a bit of an easier ground to storm, and then these Templar will destroy them. Or perhaps he's actually just waiting. Oh, hold on. Can I slow this thing down? A little bit. A little bit I did, but I think we're okay. Waiting for the energy to storm. Yeah, they almost have energy to storm. Dragoon's going to handle this just fine, though. Yeah, man. Dragoons with +3 attack. Fantastic against air units in general. Guardians as well. Okay, it's 136 to 116 supplies. Zerg players up in total supplies, up in the worker count. He's up in base count. Zerglings just running on in. Versus an army they're not really all that supposed to be great against. A lot of Dragoons, yes. But Zealots should be better here. Oh, there's the Dark Swarm. And burrowing the Lurker inside the Dark Swarm is exactly what you want to do here. Free spines on everything. Zerglings trying to hang out inside the Dark Swarm here too. The Defiler walking out of the Dark Swarm for reasons I don't understand, and then finally getting picked off by the Zealots. And the Zealots in the Storm finally winning that engagement. So somehow the first Storm, or the first engagement that Killer has with Dark Swarm goes pretty poorly for him. And JangBi, I feel like, came out on top of that one there, but we do have Hydralisks on the way. He was working on speed upgrade for Hydras. I'm not sure if that completed or what. Oh, poor Zealot. Poor Zealot. That's too many Zerglings for you, friend. +2/+2 on those guys. And they're going to finish off the natural base nexus. That was not exactly a huge priority target, I don't think, for Killer, but take what damage you can, man. Oh, good storms. Oh, sacrificing a High Templar there to get those good storms off. 6 kills on that High Templar. Man, this game has been absolutely non-stop I cannot believe how nonstop this game has been. There's been action all over the map at all times. Another Zealot getting caught out in the middle of nowhere by Zerglings with speed and adrenal glands. And working on that 3-3 for full crackling status. I have people say in the comments that they're still cracklings if they have adrenal glands and they don't even have the full upgrades. Which, fair enough. It really helps their DPS to have that attack speed upgrade. It's a massive, massive deal for those lethal Zerglings. A Mutaling here trying to do stuff at an attempted 5th base for JangBi, but the army's here to chase them away. The Zerg player cannot engage in a direct confrontation there, and as a result, they are forced to flee. So JangBi, man, getting that 5th base up, kind of a huge deal. Plague being researched by Killer, which is so good against Protoss, especially a Protoss that has a lot of gateway units, which I say that intending to leave Archons out of the mix, but Archons technically come from gateways too. So this is what I'm talking about. Zealots, Dragoons, High Templar all really take a lot of damage from the Plague. Ooh. Gonna go ahead and get some Guardians up here. It's a really good move to morph your wounded units into other stuff if you're Zerg, because they come out with full health. It's kind of a bit of a life hack, a bit of a StarCraft 2 pro tip. That way there. Ooh, Guardian flying across the map. Wrong place, wrong time. And there we go. Full health Guardians. Ta-da! And they're going to harass this 4th ace endlessly. Sorry, probes. Bad times for you, man. Getting 2-shot by these Guardians. Boom! Bad stuff. Bad times indeed. Where's the response from JangBi? He wants to engage the middle of the map here. He wants to pick off that. Oh, it gets the Defiler. But Lurkers on the ground, and a Plague goes down before the Defiler dies. Hard to see on these red units. Actually, oh, nope, Dragoon. 1 Dragoon versus 2 Guardians. Not great. All mining has effectively halted here at this 4th base, which is not going to help at all. Dark Templar tries to wander into this 6th base. Nope. Dark Templar going to wander over on this right side of the map too. Nope. It's a good attempt. Where is this? How? What? There's a little drop here on the left side. He plagued his own overlords. And there's a Lurker here, but it doesn't look like it did too much damage to the Protoss army. These Scourge were here to cover that the whole time, that attempted drop. That was kind of incredible. So, oh, shuttle avoiding the Scourge like a boss. Yeah, man, Zealots. Pretty great against the Zerglings. The Spines are the problem, though. This might be game ending from the Zerg player. Just running Zerglings into the main base. The army's out of position for JangBi. And that's it. JangBi taps out. He's got cracklings inside his main base. They're +2/+2. And that's going to be all she wrote for the Protoss player. Killer is your winner in 27 minutes and 32 seconds. What an engagement. What a game that was. Thank you, bwreplays.com, for finding that one for us and posting it on your website. And thanks to whoever that was that commented and suggested that we throw up a JangBi replay on the channel. I think that was awesome. That was a great game for sure. Yeah, Hydra's out, Ling's out at the end of the game. Really making the most of Zerglings throughout the entire game was Killer, and there just really wasn't a solid answer for it here from JangBi. Sure, he had Zealots. Oh, the upgrades get removed when they leave the game, because they were probably 3-2 by the end of the game there. And +3 attack Zealots, pretty great against Zerglings. But if the Zerglings are where the Zealots are not, it's a bad situation. Can't really do much at all, as it turns out. So yeah, great expansion pattern here from the Zerg player. Just expanded wherever he wanted to, got that income up, got the economy up to where he wanted to be. The 3rd base I felt like was late for JangBi. The 4th base too. 4th base died early, and the 5th base was just way too late in the grand scheme of things. So great job by Killer, picking off a very talented Protoss player and getting a win. And we expect good things from him in the future. Let's go ahead and check out that final score, which is always fun. Zerg player produced 719 units, killed 189. Not a great ratio, but considering he produced 700 to 250 of JangBi's, that is a big deal. And really, JangBi only killed 375 of the 719 produced by Killer, so that tells us a lot too. Resources, yeah. Gas mined, 19,000 to 12,000. Minerals mined, 42,000 to 36,000. Total spent, 60,000 to 48,900 for JangBi. Just throughout the game, consistently out-macroed, consistently out-economied, and against a Zerg player, that is going to kill you more often than not. So great job by Killer, good job by him, and I think we want to see more JangBi in the future. He impressed me a lot, and it'd be nice to see him on the channel for sure. So That is going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch at twitch.tv/Falcon Paladin. StarCraft Remastered stuff going on there right now. And until next time, as always, thanks so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.